Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Now today I'm going to be doing my Pickems for Valorant Champions 2024, and let's just get right into it. First up with Group 8, Fnatic versus Billy Gaming. Now Fnatic, they've been looking really good. They've been looking dominant, I guess you can say, in the EMEA region. Billy, they were kind of struggling in the beginning of the Chinese region. But they slowly picked it up. They got some great pieces like Neff and Flexen into the lineup now. They still have the coach as well, Jackson, who basically helped this team to win against NRG, which could happen again. But I think from what we've seen from Fnatic, and hell, Hero, he's been amazing for this team as a brilliant sub. I'm gonna say Fnatic's gonna win this one, but I do think Billy Game is gonna. Maybe this is just me feeling that Billy might maybe do the same thing like they did last year and just upset a big team, but we'll see. DRX versus Crew Esports. I think this is gonna be really tough. Now, obviously a lot of you might disagree with me, but this is what I'm gonna say. DRX throughout this season have been mid to maybe third best team in Pacific. We know that Gen G and PaperX are maybe obviously like the top two best, followed by DRX. Hell, you can sometimes I thought like Team Secret or Talon would have been better than them, or even ROQ as well were better than DRX, just because of how much they've struggled. Crew Esports, they struggled in kickoff, but then they really picked up in stage 1 and in stage 2, which helped them to make it here to champs. Now, is considering the changes that both these teams have made. I mean, Mako, he's now the IGL for DRX. I think Melters has now returned back to the IGL for Crew. Klaus has been benched from Crew. DRX, obviously the massive upset, the massive thing was Stacks leaving to go to T1 out of all stupid changes. That might be one of the worst moves, like career moves, I guess we'll say, from a player. That was just horrible from them. But either way, I do think DRX gonna win this. But I do think Crew's gonna put up a good fight against them, so I'm gonna say DRX gonna win that. Billy versus Crew. Now this is when I think there might be an upset. I have a suspicious feeling that Billy Gaming could win this. Now that is maybe just because, like I said, biasy from what happened last year. But against Crew, it is an actual possibility. I mean, yes, Crew are the third seed coming to America, because Billy are the points seeded team, we'll say, for China. Billy, they've been looking really good. They have improved massively. They've been going upwards. Crew, they are kind of plateau, like just a kind of just being like plateauing. They're just being just a steady flat line, we'll say, for Crew. I guess you may say it was a bit of a dip of performance there from stage 2. I have a suspicious feeling that they will be an upset here against for Billy. I'm gonna pick Billy. I'm gonna go with my guts. I'm gonna say Billy Gaming. It might be sound crazy. I might maybe be the crazy man screaming at the moon, at the sky, at wherever the hell you're thinking about, and saying that Billy Games is gonna win against Crew Esports. But I just have a feeling. I think why I can visualize. I can see why is he popping off with the judge on Raze. I can see Yosemite holding the side as Viper. I can just see it. It's not gonna happen, but you know what? Fuck it. Let's move on with it. Let's continue on with the storylines, guys, on Billy Gaming creating upsets in playoffs. Well, I should say in champs mainly. Fnatic versus DRX. Fnatic. I mean, easily has to be Fnatic. I mean, Fnatic are the best team in Group A, in my opinion. Has to be Fnatic. And DRX versus Billy Gaming. I won't do something stupid. I'm not going to say Billy Gaming is going to qualify. It will be DRX. But, I won't be surprised if Billy Gaming does make it a playoffs. Just because champs, they've been pretty good for them, I'll be honest. Group B. A very interesting group this is. Gen G versus Sentinels, the start of champs. Ooh. Alright. So we have the Shanghai winners versus the Madrid winners. Last time they versed each other, Sentinels won in Madrid. I don't know. You know what? Gen G. It's not even because that it's been held on Seoul. It is legit because that Gen G are just looking so good. They've been looking like one of the best teams, I'll be honest, to actually win in champs. And to possibly as well do it in front of the home crowd is really something. So my money's definitely on Gen G to win this entire thing, but obviously I might be wrong. But I see in my vision, in my really shitty vision of Billy Gaming also winning against Crew, that Gen G might maybe destroy Sentinels. That's just a quote. That's just a little feeling though. Anyways, Team Heretics versus FunPlus Phoenix. I do feel bad for FPX because they're actually a really good team. I mean, how we have seen how they are in Shanghai, especially. I mean, Shanghai they look really good in Shanghai, but because their groups is like so stacked, they kind of look like the worst team in this group. I do feel bad for them because they generally look really good, but Heretics, I mean, Heretics this year have been amazing to watch, and it's been a brilliant storyline as well. From, like I keep saying, looking like one of the worst teams in EMEA last year to now the one of the best teams in EMEA this year in 2024. It's amazing to watch. Now the red teams of Sentinels and FunPlus Phoenix. Well, FPX I guess we'll first start off with. Now they have had some interesting and questionable decision makings. I mean, I don't know, because I don't know if Berlin's gonna pull something out of his ass and just somehow make it up against Sentinels, or is Sentinels gonna get the shit together? I don't know, because I'll be honest, during stage 2, they didn't look that great. I mean, okay, they looked good in the regular season, but then when it came out to the playoffs and kind of the end of the regular season as well, they looked really bad. But I do think Sentinels, I think, will win against FPX, but I think it's going to be pretty close against that. So Sentinels is going to win, but FPX, I think, are going to put up a good fight, though, because they're a really good team. I mean, they have, they have Berlin, who's a pretty good IGL and can make some wacky decisions. Autumn, he's been really consistent for them. He's been basically a role filler for them, which is a great. And obviously, he's moved off the duelist role for Live, who's been cracked, who's been really good. Ion has been pretty consistent as well, and Lysol is just basically the clutch god. And then Sentinels with like John QT, the IGL, he's been really good. Zelsa's a hype man. Sart has been pretty good, pretty decent. Zekin has been really good for this team. And Tens, I mean, he's making a comeback. He's been looking really good so far this year. And this is like 2021, 2022, well, maybe not 2022, 2021 Tens now, which is pretty good. So at least that's a good sign there. Gen G versus Team Heretics, the Masters Shanghai rematch. I'm going to give the Gen G once again, but I do think Heretics are going to be licking their lips, I guess we'll say. And I think they are going to be trying really hard to get their revenge against Gen G, just because they narrowly lost in that amazing Masters Shanghai Grand Final. And I see it. I see that Heretics might maybe take Gen G to the point of OT in more than one map, we'll say. So, but I do think Gen G is still just going to hold it down against Team Heretics. And as for Sentinels versus Team Heretics, I just don't know what Sentinels version we're going to see, if that makes sense. Are we going to see Madrid kick off Sentinels? Or are we going to see Stage 1, Stage 2 playoff Sentinels where they struggled? Which one are we going to see? That's the thing I'm really thinking about. Because, I mean, we do obviously have a lot of data on these teams and stuff to really look back on. But early on the season, Sentinels, they did look like one of the best teams in the world. And then when we go to Stage 1, they miss out Shanghai. And then we go over now to Stage 2, where they're looking pretty good now. They're looking decent. Then they kind of just stagnated and kind of flopped. But for Heretics, they've just been on the top for most of the season. So, with that in mind, I do have to give it to Team Heretics. I do think Sentinels might maybe take a bit of a punch. But I do think Heretics is going to win that one. Group C has Leviathan Talon Esports, Team Vitality, and Trace Esports. Leviathan versus Leviathan. Leviathan. They have put themselves as one of the favorites for champs, and it's no surprise. I mean, they've been looking so good in Americas. Yes, Shanghai was a bit of a shit one. Let's ignore Shanghai. But Sage 1, Sage 2 were pretty good for them, especially Sage 2 where they were just dominant in Sage 2. So Leviathan should win this against Talon, but I do expect Talon to throw something out of the ordinary. Like, I don't know, let's just say a breach on Ascent, for example, something super like that. I do expect Talon is going to pick something out of that strat book, which has either worked for them or they've just cooked it up during pracs and scrims and stuff. So, I mean, there's a possible chance that might happen, but Leviathan should theoretically win this. But we've seen the last time they were in an international event, it didn't go well for them, but we'll see how that goes. Team Vitality versus Trace Esports. This might be one of the most interesting games I'm gonna watch, because these two teams are not only making the champs debut, but are also going to be making the international debut as well. I don't count Lock-in, okay? Fuck Lock-in. I don't count that one. But if it's like, yeah, you can like champs or Masters International, those two teams are making their debut on. So I'll be really interested. Vitality, they have been looking like a dark horse. Actually, both of these teams have been looking like dark horses. I mean, Trace were narrowly close on making it into Marshall Shanghai after their loss against Dragon Ranger Gaming. Vitality, they've been always there knocking on the door for potential spot in Masters. And I mean, I'm glad it finally happened for them to make it to champs, but I'm just a bit worried for them though. Trace, they've been looking good. Just the only thing is that they've been looking a bit inconsistent at times. Like, sometimes they will look like the best team, like the second or third best team, but then next day they'll be like losing to like one of like the back marker teams, let's say, or like one of like the 9th to 10th place teams. So I mean, that's the only thing I'm a bit worried about for Trace. Vitality, I mean, Safe, he has knocked it up like a nutter. Like, I love the changes they made of putting a runner on the Sentinel role. Yes, it was great to see that runner was on Jed and obviously on his duelist role. But I would rather prefer Safe, a veteran of this field for so long, and hell, he's even been to international events beforehand, so he knows a bit of stuff about feeling under pressure. I'm gonna give this to Team Vitality. However, I do think Trace Esports will possibly put up a good fight. And speaking of that, Trace Esports versus Talon Esports. This might be one of the stupidest games you will ever see. I mean, these two teams are basically pretty similar of how they play. They play very aggro based and just absolute stupidity, I'll be honest. I mean, I'm so excited to watch Kai versus Primey. That's gonna be a great one to watch. But who I think is gonna win this? I'm trying to think right now, because Talon, they obviously have some great pieces. I mean, Cruz, he's a really good IGL. He might be he might be the best Thai IGL in Valorant. Considering that he's been in that team for a while now. Like, having Ban and Governor is really good as well. Governor, who can play the duelist, but also can play like the initiator role just in case if Ban is switching out to duelist, which is great, so they have a bit more flexibility. Jet Boys has been pretty good for them as well. Primey, I'm very interested to see how Primey goes, because this is his first international event, and his first VCT team has made it to champs, which is the biggest stage of Valorant. So I expect some nerves, but I think there'll be also some nerves for Trace, because none of these players have actually except for Bianc. Bianc is the only one who has actually gone to champs, and obviously he was part of that Billy Gaming roster. And I can obviously he might obviously know a bit of the some like international events like nerves and stuff, but everyone else is going to be a bit worrying. But I will have to maybe give this to Talon Esports, just because they have a lot more. How do I put this? I guess they have a lot more veteran presence. Cruz, he has been a champs multiple years. Ban, Ban, he was also in champs last year and Masters as well. Yes, you maybe say that Jit Boys, Primey as well, especially Governor, they're not really veterans of LAN experience, we'll say, or I should say, on an international event. But I think having a great leader, a great leader of crew as well, and Frost and Boy as well. I mean, brilliant coaches as those two are. So I'm gonna give it to Talon Esports. Leviathan should win against Vitality as well. I mean, Leviathan, they would look so good. Aspas, Com, Tex, King, Mazzino, is just, they've been looking like flawless so far. Keyword so far. We could at least see Ma Shanghai performance again, but they should make it out. And for Vitality versus Talent, oh, this is tough. Because these two teams, I'm just so interested to see how these two teams, how like every one of these teams really go, I'll be honest, because it's actually champs I can actually watch because it's in South Korea, which is good. It's just this, the Vitality, like the Vitality and Talon, because I feel like these two teams are so similar. Safe and Primate will be a great 1v1 day. I will give this to Vitality just because of a feeling, but at the same time, Talon does have a lot more veteran presence. I don't know. I'm gonna give it to Vitality just because I trust him a bit more. So Vitality and Lev, they're coming out from Group C. And the final group is Group D, and first over with Edward Gaming versus Foot Esports. Now EDG, the SNL back on the top of China, but it wasn't with struggles after struggles in Stage 2 especially. They now have a new idea of nobody. Simon is now in the team full time. Hal Dong, I'm pretty sure, is now in the coaching role now, along with Muggle. I don't know. But either way, Foot Esports, they've been not that bad actually. I mean, okay, that might sound surprising, but what I'm trying to say is that I expected Foot to be, I guess, more dominant and scarier, we'll say. Like, because, I mean, we saw how amazing they were in Shanghai. We saw that. Like, there was so many plays, especially from, like, Yeta J, CNET, Ada Captain as well. These plays were obviously hyped up for esports, and I didn't see a lot of that in EMEA at all. So I just don't know what the performance is going to be looking like for the esports. EDG, on the other hand, they obviously have Kang Kang, who is still popping off on the duelist role. I mean, nobody. He's been holding on the line as well. Including Smoogie or Smoggy, however, I'm pretty sure it is Smoogie. He might be maybe the most like forgettable Edward gaming player, I'll be honest. Like Simon, he's been alright, I'll be honest, not the best, but just alright. And Chishu, he can also hold the line as well, but it's so difficult. Because I don't know what this is going to be looking like, because both teams I feel like are fed off with amazing and phenomenal plays from players like Kang Kang, for example, or Vita J or CNF for Foot. I have to maybe, you want? I'm going to give it a Foot, mainly because of Simon. I don't know how Simon is going to go in champs. I mean, he's alright. I mean, he was with JD Gaming before this partnership thing, and he was alright there. But I just don't know how nobody's IGL is actually going to go as well, along with against Mr. Fatherland, who has been IGLing for years or so. Nobody, I'm pretty sure, has been a second call-up. He hasn't been the IGL for a team. So that's why I'm a bit skeptical for this team. Like, are they going to go well? Are they going to, like, be all over the place? I don't know, but either way, we'll see. G2 vs PaperX. We get a bit of a rematch from Ma Shanghai as well. Okay. G2 Esports very, very slow. PaperX hold down W key. Two very, very different play styles. They didn't really change much, obviously, which is expected. The only thing is that PaperX have added now a new coach, which could help them. I'm not saying that it doesn't really change much, but it could definitely help them. If they want to elevate that, if they want to go to that next step of winning champs and winning the grand final. G2 Esports play a lot more methodical. They play slowly. I mean, that's mainly the guard as well. When they were the guard, they've just been playing very, very slowly. So I don't know. I mean, last time they played against each other, G2 won, and it was mainly because PaperX just dipped in performance. I do think PaperX are back, but G2 look pretty scary. I'm gonna give it to G2 Esports because G2 looks scarier than PaperX. I do think PaperX are gonna put up a good fight, but I don't know now. Because PaperX, they could easily like somehow because they could counter this W key movement. Because even I thought that PaperX was going to win against G2 and they didn't. Could this maybe because of recency bias? Possibly. But I'm going to stick my gun to G2 just because I think a slow methodical play against PaperX is the key to success against this team, who all they do is hold down W key. They do use abilities, but all they do is hold down W key. But I will try to do a watch party for this match because I'm very interested to see the outcome of it. Edward Gaming versus PaperX. This is gonna be a good game to watch. I think last time they versed each other was maybe Madrid, and I think it was PaperX. I'm pretty sure who won it, but I might be wrong. Is this gonna be a repeat of that time? Maybe, because I just don't know. It's just so weird to see Hao Dong not playing and him being the coach. It's just really, really strange to me. I might actually play to give it to PaperX. I don't think it's because I don't have any faith with the EDG. I just don't know how these changes are going to line up in champs, because they made some drastic changes. They changed IGLs. Hao Dong is now not playing. Simon is now in the 5-man roster. Would A1 actually play for this team? No idea. So that's the thing I'm a bit interested and worried about. Is after maybe leaving the team bad for this team. I don't know, but I mean, and there is definitely a possibility that could be very, very wrong here. Foot versus G2. This is also really, really difficult as well because I just don't, because I'm thinking because of G2's playstyle being super slow and very methodical and just playing of how the round goes. For these sports, they're kind of the same as well. Like, they do change their playstyle up quite a lot. They play slowly one round, maybe a couple rounds later, then they go fast. It's more unpredictable for G2. Well, for G2, they play until, let's just say, there's like 20 seconds remaining on the clock, and then they push up, because G2 would rather want information than just push into a site blindly. But I don't know. But for who's gonna win this, my gut says G2 Esports, just because they have been looking really good. Foot kind of struggled in their own region as well. I mean, yes, they were first seed or second seed, I believe. They were somewhere in the top 2 in the EMEA region. I just think that Foot might maybe struggle against this play style that Valorant has integrated to G2. So I'm gonna give it to G2 Esports. I'm gonna give it to G2. I think G2 is gonna qualify first here, and then for Foot versus PaperX. Oh, and it's also a bit of a tough one as well, because it's all gonna matter on the duelist, in my opinion, in this match. CNED versus something or Jing. I think it's most likely going to be Jing. Considering that this time last year was potentially Jing's last time in champs. Now that he's back, I think he's going to put a lot more firepower, and he's going to be doing a lot more crazy plays here in this tournament, especially that they're in Korea. They don't really have to relocate, we'll say. They're still in their team house and stuff. But for Foot, they have the experience. J has been looking so good so far this season. It's been phenomenal to watch. Paper Rex, they do choke. Foot, they are inconsistent. I am going to give this spot to Paper Rex. I think Paper Rex and G2, I think they're going to make it out of Group D. So for my 8 teams who will qualify to playoffs, we have Fnatic and DRX from Group A, Genji and Team Heretics from Group B, Leviathan and Team Vitality from Group C, and G2 and Paper Rex from Group D. Now, guys, to like, comment, subscribe, it would really help me, especially on this channel. Comment down below on who you think will qualify to the playoffs obviously from these 4 groups. I'll be very interested to read all of them. So that's really bad for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys next time in the next one. Goodbye.